Hello everyone and welcome to another clip from my creative collection. This time I'm talking about lifting out. Lifting out can be very useful as regards making your paintings look 3D. You know, I usually put a wash on, then a middle ground and then a foreground, and lifting out is all part of the middle ground. So if you're doing a woodland scene, or you can use it in the foreground as lifting out stems and things like that, this is a really useful techniques to use. So I'll be in this clip I'll be painting lifting out and painting in to show you the difference. So this here is a piece of old watercolour background I put on and didn't use. For some reason I wasn't happy about it. It's that long ago I can't remember when I did it. So I'm sure in here there's some lovely watercolours as well as inks and goodness knows what, but the inks won't lift out. But in a way that's good, because I don't like to see something lifted out that's a real pale strip. I like it to vary. So let's have a look at this. As I say, it's just a normal piece of watercolour paper with some watercolours on and a little bit of ink, and it's one out of my drawer that I just discarded to use on the other side really. But let's have a look what we can do with it. So I've turned it round and I've got a bit of a woodland scene here. So I've got this brush, it's called a Daler Rowney Graduate Angle Shader, and I use these a lot in my work. They've got, as it says, an angle, and it's ideal for lifting out, and they're really reasonably priced, so not expensive. And I'm using this for lifting out because I lift out that way and the brush is angled that way, unless I turned it round and I could lift out that way, but I find it better to lift out that way away from us. So let's have a look. As I say, this is quite an old, I can't remember what I put on it. That must be paint up there because it's lifting out, and I'm coming down like that, just rubbing gently. This watercolour or an inks, whatever's on it, obviously is really dry. So that's a suggestion of a tree trunk. Can you see that? And just there where it won't budge, there must be some ink. So let's dab that off. Let's try somewhere else. This looks a little bit like watercolour here. I think it must be ink because it's not budging, but we'll get there. Up there, look, can you see how that's lifting? Doesn't matter if it's just a little bit, it really doesn't matter. Just here, let's have a look there, that's showing really nicely. So I'm thinking of a bit of a woodland scene. I'm coming down. What I don't want is a big white strip, you know, really prominent strip, because I tend to use this in the middle ground rather than the foreground. That must be ink there. That's why it's not budging. But you can see what happens when it is just watercolour, just there. So vary the breadth of it, you know, don't have them all the same width. And also you can come this way as well, you know, like branches overhanging here and there. That is definitely ink there. I can't remember what colour it was. As I say, it's just out of my discarded drawer. I think it must be yellow ochre ink. But that doesn't bother me, you know, it's all going to add to the overall effect. So I think now the time's come to paint a few tree trunks in. So I'm going to use a little bit of sepia. Sepia watercolour, this is not ink. and I'm ignoring those behind. You know, I would have let that dry normally. I'm ignoring those behind. In fact, I might go over them to show that they are in the background. Let's just add a little touch of water to vary the tone. So I'm lifting out and I'm painting in, and that all adds to the overall effect of a woodland scene. You know, soft edges go back, hard edges come forward. Let's see if I can probably lift out a little bit there. Don't think I can, that must be ink. But then, you know, I'm showing it up here. It looks like silver birch, doesn't it? Showing it up in this area where I know it's paint. If you haven't got one of these brushes, just use a flat brush. They really are worth buying. And I think because there's a bit of a gap there, I'll paint in another trunk. But I won't do it smack in the middle like that. I'll do it kind of from there and coming over a little bit. A little bit hit and miss. And then with my rigger, let's do one or two branches. Let's go into that green that's over there. I think it's olive green. Just suggests branches coming down and across and reflect a really busy woodland area. And also let's lift out, just if we can, one or two finer branches. These brushes drag the paint to create a really nice effect. Let's break that up a little bit. And that up a little bit. So you can see just how important it is to have a little area of lifted out material that enhances what the positive painting that you're putting in rather than the negative, shall we say. So I hope that's a good example. I mean, you know, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It doesn't cost you anything, it's free. You'll be notified of any more creative clips that I do. You can follow me on Facebook and Instagram. I'm always putting things on there which are interesting rather. My website is janebetteridge.com. Lots of things happening on there. And follow me on Vimeo where I do more in-depth workshops, and you'll be notified of those too. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and have a practice and see how you get on.